Boom, welcome to today's live. I'm excited to be doing this today. I am Jeff Anozie, and today we're going to be discussing how to invest in properties for your kids in Abuja. My name is Jeff Anozie, and I work with Browdy Global Limited, and our duty is to help you acquire, safe and profitable real estate right here in the city of Abuja. On this video today, we're going to be discussing how to invest in properties for your kids in the city of Abuja, right? And I'll be happy to take your questions or your comments in the comment section, or you can simply just call or WhatsApp the numbers in the comments if you have any questions, concern, inquiries, around the topic we are discussing today. So we're going to be discussing in the next few minutes how to invest in properties for your kids in Abuja. All right. I just want to be sure. Beautiful. Okay. I think I'm live. You can hear myself clearly. Exactly. So I know a lot of, of parents or future parents, that would like to lay a solid foundation for their kids, for the generations yet unborn, and you've been wondering how you can do that in such a way that um, they can benefit from it even long after you're no more, right? And of course, I mean, even the good book says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, right? And I know we are all good people, and we've been looking and been wondering, what can we do? How can we, invest in properties, right, safely and profitably for our children? Okay, and in this video, I'm just going to break down a few points that we can do, or things we can do within the city of Abuja or anywhere at all in the world, not just Abuja, in Nigeria, in Africa, anywhere in the world. These are a few things that we can implement in order to invest in property safely for our kids. Of course, you want to protect their future. You want to ensure that they get the best out of life, right? And all of that. And so here are three simple ways that you can do this here in Abuja and anywhere in the world, right? The first thing to do in order to invest in properties. And of course, before I go on to talk about the three ways, we all know that one of the safest, um, vehicles um, to invest for long term is properties, lands and houses, right? For long term. I know also that a lot of people are bothered and worried that, okay, will these things stay for them? Will it stay for us? And of course, in this video, we'll talk about how to preserve these things, all right? But let's establish the fact that real estate or properties is one of the best ways, to invest for our kids or for long-term purposes. Of course, at the end of the day, you would want to send them to Ivy League schools. You would want to, have enough resources to give them the best of life. And even if, happenstances or circumstances happen that at a point you may not have access to good cash, these things are store of wealth, right? Real estate is a very good store of wealth, okay? And it doesn't really require a lot of maintenance, right? It doesn't require a lot of maintenance. If you like, you may not even spend money at all on staffing and all of that, and the property will be there. Okay, so real estate has been proven over and over again for generations and generations to come to be one of the best vehicles, safe, profitable, and of course less hassle, to save, to store wealth long term. And the beauty is that the value of the property will just keep increasing over and over. Okay. And here are three simple ways or three simple steps you can take in order to invest profitably, especially for the long term and precisely for your children or your kids, both those are alive right now and those unborn. The first is to buy land in developing areas. So in a place like Abuja, there are places that are fast developing, or there are places that, according to the master plan, are going to be developed in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, or even more. Okay. So the idea is to go on time. There are some places in Abuja, places like um, Shiriti, places like Gusa, or even some outskirt places like Asokoro Extension, or somewhere in Karashi, that, all those kind of places. You see that within a period of time, according to the trajectory, or according to the wave of development towards that area, you see that within the next 5 to 10 years, those places would have opened up. All right. So going there on time and buying these things at reasonable amounts. When I hear the prices, some people bought um, lands in Gudu, in local Goma, some years ago, some 10, 15, 20 years ago. It baffles me. As a matter of fact, I heard a story, a colleague of mine was sharing with me that in a particular estate in Abuja here, few years ago, maybe between, I've forgotten the exact time frame, and she said the houses there were going for as low as 15 million, like houses, right? And right now, those houses are not less than maybe 80, 100 million. See, so going early to these locations and buying them are a very good way, to invest on time for the long term, right? And this is good. I mean, once you buy it, you put a perimeter fence around it, you put a gate, and most times allow someone to make use of the place, maybe a farmer or a family that will just, put that will just like protect the place, or secure the place to a large extent. If you don't just leave those kind of lands empty, you'll find a way to just protect it and take possession. All right. The second way, or the second thing to do, is to buy off plan, right? Off plan houses, whether it's terraces, apartments, or duplexes in Abuja, we can buy off plan. What does off plan mean? Off plan means that you're buying off a plan, right? You're not buying, maybe the buildings or the structure might not be on ground per se at the moment, but of course it will come. You know that the building is going on, right? And there, of course, there are a few things to look out for before investing in an off-plan project. The first is to look at the integrity of the developer. Who is the person building? What is his track record, right? Or what is his integrity like as a person? What do people say about him? Which other people have dealt with him in the past? How was their experience? Two, what is the title of the land? What kind of title does the project come in, right? Just to protect yourself. Off plan means you're paying for a building that is still under construction, or the construction is about to start. Okay. So the beauty about buying those kind of projects is that you buy at the lowest price possible. As a matter of fact, if you buy, the price compared to when the place is developed will be twice or almost 3 times the value. Okay, so buying off plan simply means buying into a project before the building, either before it commences or before it's completed. All right. So whether it's a terrace, a duplex, an apartment, buying into this off plan, it takes a period of time before it's finished, but you now own it. The beauty is you own it at the cheapest price possible, and you can own it for as long as possible. Right. Now, with this kind of projects, apartments or duplexes or terraces, when it is completed, you can always rent them out. Okay, since the goal is to buy for your children, or for buy to hold for long term. All right, you can just rent them out. When you rent them out, either long term rent or short-term rent. So that is either they pay you annually for rent, either the people renting pay you annually, or they pay you per night. So for every night you spend, you sleep there, you get to pay, stuff like that. So so if you can do the long term, if you don't want to be involved in the hassles of taking care of an apartment, but you can do the short term if you don't mind the everyday cash flow. But of course, it has some operational implications as well. All right. So that is number two. Number two is buying off plan. Remember, we're talking about how to invest in properties for your kids in Abuja. We're using Abuja as an example, but the principle can be applied to anywhere in the world, right? So the second is what? To buy off plan houses or apartments. Okay. Number three, which I find very interesting, and I don't know why a lot of people are not yet taking advantage of it, is to buy commercial properties in Abuja or anywhere else you want to invest in. Commercial properties. What are commercial properties? Of course, these are properties that where commerce happens every day. Okay, so buying and selling, either a shop, a plaza. You can decide to buy a plaza or buy a land, a commercial land, and build a plaza, or go into a joint venture. You buy the land, someone else comes to build the plaza, and then you will have an agreement on how you share cash flow or profits. Okay, or you can buy apart what they call it, shops. Now we have opportunities to buy shops. So you can either decide to buy shops in a plaza or in a market, of course, or in a market. So you can, select some shops in the market and buy. There are times too where they build markets. I know that currently in Abuja, there's a place along Karsana in Abuja where they are building a market. All right. The market is supposed to be the major market within the district. And so it's supposed to serve Gwarimpa, Karsana, and part of Kubwa along that axis. You see, so you can go on time now, buy a couple of shops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shops, and just own it, because you can also get rental incomes from that kind of thing. All right. So one way to buy into commercial is either to buy a land, build on it, build a plaza, build a mall, build an office complex, whatever it is. Or you can invest into the shops in the plaza or in the mall. All right, you can invest into the shops. And of course, most developers give you the opportunity these days to pay per square meter. There is a mall in Guzape that is currently ongoing, and they sell per square meter, right? So there are a couple of them within Abuja, right? So you can invest in malls. You can also invest in, and this is very interesting, you can also invest in commercial plots in residential estates. Make sense? So there are some residential estates that, of course, is majorly residential, but there are commercial plots in the estate. There's an estate in Lokoguma where there is this very big commercial land there, and it's a very big estate. So almost everybody within that estate comes to that mall to buy stuff, right? And I think they have everything there. They have a pharmacy, a restaurant, a superstore, number of things there. So I'm just so sometimes I just imagine the person or people that invested in that mall. Okay, so for everybody that is renting a shop there, just to pay them. And this is lifetime, because that's, so long as that estate exists, people must need those things, everyday things like water, Panadol, food. They need it. So they would always, always come there to buy. And whoever owns the shop or owns the mall will keep receiving rental income year in, year out. And guess what? He doesn't even have to maintain the place. The people renting will come together and pay service charges monthly or yearly for the place. So that is another hack: investing in commercial, areas in estates. In some estates too, you can even invest in their green area or event area. All right, event area. So for everybody, so you can decide to build the event area or a sports arena. All right, and then make money from the maintenance fee yearly. All right, something like that. The point is, we can look into private estates, right? Some of them sell their commercial areas. They sell it out to people who then either build on it or go into a JV that someone else builds. That's JV means they go into a joint venture, right? That someone else builds on it and they just get cash flow or rental income from it. Okay. Now, these are three simple ways that you can invest in properties for the long term, especially investing or buying properties for your kids long term. The first, like I said, is buying land in the developing areas that are far away from the main town, that you know for sure that development will get to. The next is buying off-plan houses, either apartments or the rest. Buying them off plan. Off plan is when they are just building them. You buy them at that point, and then they complete it after a while. The value increases, so you already get appreciation already, and then you can now rent it out for cash flow while still preserving it for your kids. And then the third is to buy commercial property. So you can buy out a mall or buy a commercial land and build a mall, or you can buy shop spaces in the mall. All right. You can also buy floors as well. Floors. So a couple of people build malls and sell the floors, right? So you can buy either the first floor, the second floor, third floor, and all of that. You can also buy in markets. You can try to buy shop spaces in markets, right? These are, property kinds or types that you can actually invest in for the long haul. Now, why is it good? First, for the rents, that's the shops and plazas, you can get cash flow now. This money can be used to pay school fees, can be used to, do upkeep. It doesn't come a lot, it comes in trickles, but these things are monies that can be used for, school fees, for basic upkeep, etc. Right? But the beauty as well is that these properties appreciate over time. So it's not just about the cash flow right now, it's about the long-term appreciation as well. I mean, you can hardly see a property that is bought right and bought well that remains the same price for a couple of years. Hardly. All right. And so with these, you can build a strong foundation, security for the children. You see, now one of the problems or challenges most people have is securing these things, right? And I know that that's one of the challenges most people have. There are a couple of things you should know. First is, after buying out a property, don't go and keep you know how you buy property from me. I give you a document that shows transfer of title, right? Then most people, what they do is they take that their document and go and put it in the house or in a bank or in a safe. No, the right thing to do is to take that your document and go and register it at Aegis. In Abuja, it's called Aegis. That's Abuja Geographic Information System. The point is to go and let the government know that, see, you have acquired this, and I want you guys to register it here. Right? This is one way to protect your your investment. The next way is to not leave your properties empty. Okay, don't try not to leave them empty. Whether it's your land or your house, try not to leave it empty. For the lands, put a perimeter fence around it, put a gate. If it's possible to put a little house, like a little house inside, and then maybe get a farmer or farmers, lease it out to farmers so they get to pay you every year. I mean, it won't be a lot. The goal is not even the money they will pay you. The goal is for them to protect the place for you. That's the goal. The goal is for them to alert you. They will call you if they see any movement. They're going to call you. If it's an estate, most estates will not allow you, keep your land for such long time, especially in Abuja. They won't allow you to do that. Within 2 or 3 years, they would ask you to come and build, right? But if you're buying in outskirts, like the developing areas, you can easily just put a fence around it and get someone to oversee it, right? And for your houses or stores, you can just rent it out. You're not renting it out per se because of the money that they're giving you. I mean, it's part of it. It's part of cash flow that can help with a few things, right? But most importantly, for protection and maintenance as well. All right. Now, as I wrap up, it's very important to note this. As much as it's important to start small, start with one apartment, maybe one piece of land. The goal is to make it a habit, right? Make it habitual to buy as many as possible as often as you want, right? As often as you can, rather. So you now make it a mindset that, okay, after investing in this one, I'll look for the next one to invest in. If you're buying, if you're buying properties and you rent it out, there's a chance that you can use a property to raise money for another one. All right. You can, if you have a land that is registrable, like the title is good, you can use that land, to raise money for another one, right? So while you pay this one off, you own another. I mean, don't take this is not financial advice. You need to speak to a financial expert so that you can weigh your options as much as possible. But the point I'm trying to make is to develop a mindset to buy, to keep buying. Because imagine in the next, say, 20 years, you now own like 25 different properties in different areas, right? You then see that you have enough, you've amassed enough capital in terms of properties to be able to do as many things as you want to do. If you want to send your kids to Ivy League schools in anywhere in the world, these properties can easily pay for them. You see? So this is how smart parents or smart individuals are securing the future for their kids, one property at a time. All right. So with this, I've come to the end of this live session. If you have any question, you have any concern or any remark, or you're looking to invest in Abuja and you want guidance, you can simply call or WhatsApp the numbers that are in the description or around this video, and would definitely find ways to communicate and help you in investing in the city of Abuja. Without questions or without any other thing, I'm Jeff Anozia, and it's been a pleasure to bring this to you today. I hope you do enjoy a fantastic day, and bye for now.